Hello everybody, how you doing? Nice to see you all there. Welcome. My name's Jane. How's it going? Just seeing some of the chat, seeing everyone pop in. We'll give everyone a few minutes to get in. Hope you're all doing well. It's a bit of a rainy old day here in Berlin today. We feel like we lost summer already. Boo. How's it going for everyone? Let me know. As always, I'm always interested to know where everyone is in the world. What time is it where you are? Where are you tuning in from? Marcos, hello. How's it going? And who else have we got here? MV Beckham. Hello, MV Beckham. Lovely to see you. What's up? William C. Beckham. Oh, is that the same person? Guten Abend aus München. Willkommen. Nice to see you. Virginia Beach, Virginia. Yes. Brazil. Whee. Awesome. Sao Paulo. Cool. Great stuff. Awesome. Well, really lovely to have you all here today. My name is Jane Arnison to be precise, and I am a mix engineer and a producer. And so far I've been working with, doing these kind of live streams with ADSR, focusing on mixing. But today we are mixing it up a bit, and I'm going to present, chat, discuss, workshop, production topics. And specifically today we're going to talk about vocal production. Hello from India and Vietnam. Nice one. Nice to see you all here. Welcome. So that's 10 p.m. in India. That's commitment. I like it. Thanks. Thanks for tuning in. Awesome. So as I said, we're going to focus on vocal production. And it's in and of itself, it's a massive topic, so what I decided to do is, we could talk about vocal production from a perspective of vocal arrangement, harmonies and layers and parts and doubles and all that kind of stuff. We could tackle vocal production from a perspective of like mix preparation, cleaning everything up and preparing it. We could also tackle it from a perspective of sound design. So there's lots of different ways in, basically. So I'm also just as I'm saying this, I'm interested for you to, let me know, like, what are the challenges that you have with vocal production? Do you feel like you don't use it because you don't know how to work with it? Do you feel like your vocal lines are boring or predictable? Do you work with sample packs? Do you feel like your vocals never quite feel like professional and expensive enough? Like, let me know where the challenges are, because it's a big topic. And although I'm a bass player originally. I do sing, but I'm a bass player. So although I like to think that everyone's listening to my bass line, the reality is they're only listening to the vocals. So, all of the work that we do on the production, which is really important, all the layers and the beats and everything, super important. But as soon as there's a vocal in there, they really become supportive aspects to the vocal, because humans, by nature, the way we're designed, we tune into vocals, right? So, yes. All right, so big topic. So today what I decided to do is I'm going to zone in, and we're going to kind of focus on vocal production from a sound design aspect. And I zoomed in even closer and decided that, because there's so much out there, so many products, there's so much software that we can use. So rather than like overwhelm it, I'm just going to mainly going to focus on like Antares, because they have a really good range of things that we can do. I'm going to start there today. So we will, and also we'll probably do more than one vocal session. So, any ideas that you have, things that you'd like to check out, obviously let me know, and we'll set those up as well. So today I've got my notes down here. What we're going to do is we're going to start off by we're not going to talk about Autotune, because basically everyone uses it, whether you know it or not. So I'm sure that everyone uses Autotune. Some of you will be absolute pros on it. Some of you might have not really used it before. So we're going to start kind of simple ways to work with Autotune. And then I'm going to talk about how to thicken up a vocal. So if you've got a limp and lifeless vocal, what you can do to kind of thicken it up and make it sound really good. A bunch of different kind of processing techniques that we can use. We're going to talk a little bit about alignment. I'm not going to talk too much about it today, but I will kind of touch on it, and maybe it's something that we get into later. Also, then we're going to get a little bit more creative, and I'm going to talk about, okay, what if I have a melody that I don't like, I can't get the singer back in and I want to change it, or maybe I'm working off a sample pack and, you want to change the melody. So how can you do that? There's lots of ways, and I'm going to talk about how you can do it through using Autotune. So also I can see Gareth saying there he's a long-term user of Melodyne. Yeah. Also, me too. I love Melodyne. I think it's awesome. And so maybe it'll be interesting for you. I think that all of these tools, they encourage different types of creative expression. So when I use Melodyne to when I use Autotune, I do different things. So anyway, I'll be interested for your feedback about how that is. So we're going to talk about using the graph to change melody. We're going to use MIDI notes to change melody. We're going to harmonize it, and then just basically have some fun. All right. So that's the plan for today. Let me know, is my vocal level okay? I left my good mic in my studio, so I'm using my backup one today. Let me know how the levels are. I'm just going to zoom over to my DAW, and I'll just play a little bit, and then we're just going to do a levels check like I always do. So starting off today, this is a track that's from the archives of my band Evol. You can check out the original. But so basically I decided to just to kind of pull this vocal out and remove all the layers and stuff like that, and just think about if I was in production and what might I want to want to do with it. So let me just play a little bit of the track and a little bit of the vocal. So let's start. I'm just going to start with Unprocessed, and let's have a listen, levels check, let me know how it is. All right.
Your love is cold, it fills me with desire. Your eyes are breasts, tremors down my spine. Holding hands reminds me of the war, when I fought to grasp what was mine.
Okay, so that's a little bit of a blast of the track. So as I said, there's an old track. If you want to hear it, go to Spotify, check out Your Love by Evol, and you can hear the full track. So I'm going to kind of playing around with it today. So what we have here, if we're kind of going to start off with it, now I can see a few questions kind of coming up already, just about kind of like pop filters versus digital and stuff like that. I will come back to these. I'm just going to like kind of get into it a little bit, and then we'll come back and have a chat. Okay, so hold on to your questions. Okay, so we start off with an unprocessed vocal, which sounds like okay, but just like a bit boring.
It was cold, it fills me with desire. Your eyes are breasts, tremors down my spine. Holding hands reminds me of the war.
Okay, so then the question is like, what can we do? Oops, sorry.
It's cold, it fills me with desire. Your eyes are breasts, tremors down my spine. Holding hands reminds me of the war, when I fought to grasp what was mine.
Gosh, I keep on forgetting about my mic. Using the Autotune, it's actually just like kind of cleaning it up slightly, right? So it tightens it up. So even if the voice is in tune, a lot of producers like tend to use like the Autotune function for kind of tightening up the sound. Okay, so let's have a look into. Did I cut out there? I think I should be good. Mic is on. I think my mic's on. So yeah, so if we have a look at this, let's just go kind of back to the beginning. The first thing when we're working with Autotune is figuring out the key, right? So one of the things, again, there's different programs around. Antares has got this one called Auto Key, and it can detect the key automatically, right? But I would say, as always, the machines, to date, humans are still smarter than machines. So I think you always have to remember to engage yourself. So, for me, I'm trained in music, so I kind of do understand and I can find a key fairly quickly. But, for some of you, how do I figure out the key if I don't know what it is? I mean, maybe you can put in, how do you fix that? So maybe you use something like this, like Auto Key to find the key. But I use this, so let's put in, and let's go C minor. Okay. And then let's listen to what's happening with the vocal. Where is it? Lead vocal.
Icy breaths and tremors down my spine. Holding hands reminds me of the war, when I fought to grasp what was mine.
Okay, so there I can hear that that's not what I had before. Okay, so you might not know it yet because you've only listened to it for a second. I'm going to turn it off and on.
Icy breaths and tremors down my spine. Holding hands reminds me of the war.
Turn it on.
When I fought to grasp what was mine.
So it's just not sitting right and it's not sounding right. So how do I figure that out? So let me just, I'm going to turn this off for a second. And I think it's worth having a minute with this, because this is one of the things that I find a lot actually when I'm working with, students or, other people, I'm kind of helping their vocal production, is kind of lack of confidence to figure out the key. So I've got my trusty, now I'm kind of like, it's a little bit clunky today because I need lots of things. So I've got my keyboard here. Let's turn it on. Can you hear that? Cool. Okay. So now what I need to do is play the melody. No, it's not that. Okay. So I can just figure out the melody. So. Da, 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 da. Okay. So once I start to play the melody, then I can start to think about what scale it is. So you do need to have a bit of musical theory to be able to figure out the scale, or you can just get a book out and then figure it out. So from here I go, da 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 da. So then from that I can go, okay, so then that to me, you want to tell me what key are we in? Is it major or minor? We're in a minor key, and it's actually B flat minor. So the auto key told me that it was C minor. Okay, so that we need to be careful and need to be aware of that, right? So now that I've confirmed, when I was listening, I tried it with the key that it told me that it was, and then I was like, something's not right here. So then I checked in and I double checked, right? So that's just what I wanted to make a real point of that. Right, so now I'm going to go back into my Autotune and I'm going to now reset it to B flat minor. And let's hear how it sounds if I turn it back on. Can get rid of the auto key.
Icy breaths and tremors down my spine. Holding hands reminds me of the war.
Yeah, much better.
When I fought to grasp what was mine.
Okay, so yeah, I want to make a point there just to really think about getting the key right, so we don't have as much wobbles and as much movement when we do that. Okay, so the first thing in terms of with Autotune is setting the scale and thinking about what the voice type is, because it helps with the formant. The next thing that I want to do is so if you want to have a really obvious Autotune style that's like, I don't know, T-Pain or whatever, then the go is to set the retune speed to be really fast and have humanize off and flex tune off, right? So let's play it again. Just do it here maybe. Okay.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on your own. Walk these city streets at last, be free.
Okay, so cool. So that's working, and so that's pretty full on for me. So what I'm thinking to do is to kind of pull it back a little bit and think about. Thanks, Marcus. You like my voice? Awesome. So to think about, how we can make it so it's kind of going to work. So back in the day, Autotune used to be really obvious, and it was either used Autotune like Antares, or if you wanted it to be subtle, you use like Melodyne or something. But really now Autotune and the Antares Autotune is so like subtle that you can use Autotune. You get a very natural sound. So let's try and make it to sound more natural now, right?
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on your own. Walk these city streets at last, be free.
Okay, so that to me sounds pretty natural, right? And it's definitely a lot faster than Melodyne. I mean, I love Melodyne. I'm not going to... Melodyne is an amazing program. They have the different uses. But today, this feels pretty fast and pretty cool. So I'm into that. You can see that what I did was I slowed down the retune speed. I humanized it. Oh, what happened there? Oh, sorry. My Ableton just decided to quit on me. Okay, so whilst we're waiting for that, maybe I'll just come back to here for a second. Yes, recover my work. So, okay, let's check out some of those questions whilst we reload Ableton. Sorry about that. So, what have we got here? Let's see. Okay, Ableton's being a bit slow. Okay, we're back. Whee! That was quick. All right. Back to it. All right. Okay, are we still there? Is everyone still with me? All good? Yeah. Cool. Okay, so where was I? I'm now just a bit lost because I have to get myself organized again. Okay. All right. So can get rid of that, and then here we go to this vocal. All right. So back to where we were. It's going to give it to me. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So what I did was I have to go back again, back to minor, back to B flat. So I'm going to take off the advanced settings and just got the simple stuff. So retune speed, humanize it a little bit, and then think about the natural vibrato, right? So that's cool, and that's sounding pretty nice. Let's listen to it again. Love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on your own. Walk these city streets at last, be free. Okay, and in that, it just sounds like I've done something to it. It's not that it's a massive retuning, but it just helps it to feel tighter. So this is what is, 90%. I would even say 99% of the vocals is these days. The trend is to have some kind of auto-tune. It's got nothing to do with whether the vocal's in tune or not. It's to do with the style of processing. Okay. Cool. Okay. So now, if I want to go a little bit further, because I felt like there was some, weird kind of nuances and things that was happening, I can click on the advanced view here, and I can kind of go deeper in and think about what I might want to do with it. So, for me, I felt like there was a little bit of movement happening in the vibrato that I didn't like. So I want to come into here and kind of change some of the settings in the vibrato manually to get it to be a little bit more stable in a way that it works. Love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on your own. Walk these city streets at last, be free. So this is kind of trying to get it to be a little bit more balanced. Now, something that I think is really important is thinking about the targeting when it ignores the vibrato, okay? So if you don't have this on, let's have a listen to it.
Love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on your own.
You can hear it moving around more. So if I put this on...
Your love told me don't trust in what you see.
Do you hear how it's tighter?
Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on your own. Walk these city streets at last, be free.
Cool. Okay. So I found that this is something that's really important, is that when you're using Autotune, if you have a vibrato or a natural movement in the voice, it can kind of bounce around, and it doesn't, like, maybe you don't like that. And that's, for me at least, in the past, I didn't use Autotune.
At last, be free.
Whoa. I wasn't using, gosh, there's a ghost in the machine here. My Ableton's just playing at will. So yeah, as I was saying, that it used to have these movements and artifacts that I didn't like. So I think this is one of the things that's important. If, again, anyone who's been to any of my streams knows that I'm quite detail oriented, and these are the things that takes your vocal from being like okay to sounding just like really impressive and engaging. So that's a little tip from me to you, okay? Like getting into the nitty gritty, the fine details, and really making that vocal sound exactly the way you want, not just kind of accepting that it's a bit wobbly, right? All right. Okay. So, cool. So I'm happy with that for my main vocal. I wanted to also have a little look at this other little plugin called Aspire, which is about breath. Okay. So, MV Beckham, I didn't see your 10 in 1 question. What? It was something about pop filters. Is that right? Maybe ask it again, and then I'll answer it when it comes back up into the feed. Okay, so this is called Aspire, and it's about not the singing, but it's about thinking about the breaths, right? So I should also say, like, if anyone wants to get any of these plugins, like obviously they're all available on the ADSR website, so you know what to do. Go check it out, have a look. I should also give just a general shout out for ADSR for people that are just joining the stream or watching back afterwards. If you haven't checked out the ADSR website, make sure that you check it out. It's got so much stuff, amazing sample packs. I've been using a lot of the sample packs today for part 2 of today's stream. And they're just so much fun. They're really, really great, really diverse samples. Obviously, tutorial videos, loads of plugins, and, Antares today, which we're featuring. You can go check it out over there as well. So back to Aspire, is you can either increase or reduce the breath. So let's just have a little play with this. And MV Beckham, I see your question there, and I'm going to answer it after I do the Aspire thing. Okay, so...
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on your own. Walk these city streets at last, be free.
So you can see here I can kind of increase it or decrease it. When I increased it, it didn't sound great because there was so much background sound from the headphones, basically, when I recorded this. So the reduction is what I'm looking for.
Your love told me. Your love told. Your love told. Your love told.
Okay, and now it's subtle there, but this is kind of, again, my tip for how to do it. I just want to zone in on the breath. I'm not listening I don't want to get caught and distracted by listening to the vocal. So I'm just listening to it. So it's not taking it away, but what it does is, I haven't actually read the manual for this yet, but I probably will. But what it seems to do is some kind of filtering, a comb filtering, where it takes out it filters out parts of the frequency. So the breath remains. It also does some amplitude adjustment, but it's thinning it out or something. So it doesn't sound as thick and as in the way, basically, in the context. So it's subtle, but it's a cool little plugin. Someone also said, Milud, hello Milud, what's up? Also said that Waves deep breath is fire. Yep, that's also a really good one. It's kind of different. They're different processes. But they're both good. Yeah, definitely. So this is cool. This is actually a new thing for me. I haven't actually used this too much before, but into it. Okay. So let's have a listen to where we're at.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to you.
Now, as I'm listening to this, I'm getting annoyed by all of the sound in the background. So what I would normally do at this stage is throw in a gate. So this is, because I'm a mix engineer, I can't help myself, but you don't have to do this. But this is something that, again, if you don't know how to do it properly, you should leave it for the mix engineer. But if you can, then cool.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your way to make it on your own.
Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is set the gate, so I want to make sure that I get all of the soft bits.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see.
I need to get the S's as well.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
Okay, so the cos is slightly below, so I need to get that again.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen
But when I get too low there, you saw that the weird breath thing came back in. So I have to decide whether I want the breath in or not here.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on.
Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that, but now it's a bit abrupt, so I'm going to increase the hold and maybe the release even more.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
So the bleed bit is a bit too short.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to...
Cool. Okay, that's sounding pretty good to me. And then you notice that the floor, I didn't make it completely quiet because it would sound weird. I made it so that the floor, it's actually called downward expansion. So rather than a gate. So but anyway, we got that in. There's a bit of mixing for you. Okay. Cool, I'm happy with that. So that's the end of part 1, which is how to make a lead vocal using Autotune to make it sound more like the pros, more pop, more awesome without even doing lots of processing and stuff like that. So there is a bit of EQ you can see here. I cleaned out the bottom and I got rid of some of the harsh kind of low, upper mid stuff, and that's it. Okay. So let's move on. So the next thing is what I want to talk about is vocal thickening. So I flattened out the vocal and I put it on this track, and now I'm going to just turn everything off so I can just prove it.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see.
Okay, so that's the process Vox. And now I'm going to add a few different things, right? So the first thing is to check out, this is like throat, so it's kind of changing the formant and the stuff of the sound. So why am I doing this? The reason that I want to do this is I want to have, I've doubled the vocal. So if I just put it in again, it's going to phase and it's not going to sound good. It's actually going to make the main vocal sound weaker, which is not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to thicken up the main vocal. So I am using this to change the character, the timbre of the sound. So what have I got here?
Your love told me don't trust in what you see.
Now I could just use the Autotune again and use the formant, but this is a little bit more, this is more detailed and more subtle. So, and it's cool, right? So I just thought I'd kind of throw it out and show you how it works.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see.
Okay, depending on the glottal type, it's how, if everyone knows a glottal, it's the pressure that you put on your vocal cords. So if I'm singing like this, or I'm singing like that, one's a hard or a loud glottal and one's a soft glottal, right? So for this one, I'm going to go soft, and I'll go medium. Why not? Okay.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see.
Cool. Add breathiness. I think I've got enough in there. Let me just show you what it sounds like.
Your love told me don't trust in what you...
No, because that's deteriorating the quality of the sound as it is. So no, we don't want that.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see.
Okay, now here is where we start to change like the formant basically. So it's like the width of the throat, I guess, which changes the tone of the vocal cords. Who knows?
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
Okay, so I'm liking the way that that's sounding. But, and this is a really important thing, when you're going to be doing vocal processing like this, like with Antares or Sound Toys, what's it called? Alter Boy or like any of them, right? When they will introduce artifacts that you don't want, so you've got to be aware of that, and you've got to be ready with your EQ to kind of to clean stuff up. So there's a lot of low frequency stuff that gets introduced here that I just don't want, so I'm getting rid of it straight away.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
The other thing that you might be noticing is that there's sibilance going on. So, this is another aspect of when you're doing like a lot of vocal processing like this is things like you will get more and more sibilance. If you are not sure about how to fix sibilance properly, defer to your mix engineer. You don't need to waste too much time on it in production if it's something that's going to get you unstuck. I've talked about sibilance a lot. In at least a previous mixing session, and I will talk about it again. But I'm not going to go too far into it today because I want to have a bit more fun. But just be aware of that for sure. So I can put a de-esser on it. Which one will I do? So I'll just do, I have been using the Antares one, but I'm going to I'll use a few different ones so we can check it out. I've used this Sibilance before from Waves. This is a stereo Sibilance. We can check that out. Oh gosh, my Logic crashed again. Okay, time now for MV Beckham's question and answer. Sorry. Reopen. Okay, now the 10 questions in one. Where are they? Where is it? So MV Beckham says, my only question is with vocals are dealing with pop filters, physical versus digital, mic placement versus different mics for specific vocalists, and which mics are the best based on the type of production. Okay. Yes, 10 questions in one. Absolutely. Okay, so pop filters, physical versus digital. What do you mean by digital pop filter? So I think they're two completely different things. You've got de-plosives that you can get inside things like SSL, a vocal strip, which will help you to kind of control them. But a pop filter, just have one and put it in front of the mic. If you feel that the vocalist needs it, right? If you have a vocalist that doesn't seem to need it, because pop filters do change the tone slightly. So every decision you make is a compromise, basically, with sound, of course. So if you want a really intimate up close, maybe you don't want to use a pop filter, but the vocalist needs to be able to handle it. So you've really got to think about the vocalists that you are working with. They're the most important thing. And then you make decisions based on what you have in front of you. So that's the first thing. Some people use 2 pop filters, or just think about the distance between the microphone. There's no right answer. It's about using your ears. And maybe that's an annoying thing to say, but it's really about you tuning in and making a decision based on what you hear. That's always the answer, ultimately. In terms of, digital pop filters, like de-plosives, basically, yes, they're good. I think they're getting much better than they used to be. The SSL vocal strip I use a lot, and I think it's very good. However, for me, when I'm doing vocal production, I've got to say that most often I do it manually. So if there's a P or a B, a P or a B, you can probably hear that, I go in and I manually edit it. I manually cut it and I turn it down. And sometimes I even completely delete it, right? So it's paying attention to those things, and you might try and fix it with a digital plosive tool. Maybe it works. Awesome. Off you go. If you go, no, it's just not fixing it, then you have to make the decision, okay, I've got to get in here and fix this up. Or leave it for a mix engineer and then they'll fix it up, hopefully, if they're a good one. This third thing, microphone placement for different mics for specific vocalists. Again, like, you got to figure it out. I mean, different vocalists, I think it's if you've got a big loud voice, give them a bit of space. If it's a quiet voice, encourage them to come up closer. If the song's intimate, then get them to be more gentle in the mic and more caressing and more sensual, like close and gentle. if it's a shouty, like raucous kind of thing, if you're going to, it's also what is your plan for your vocal arrangement. I think having a plan before you go into your vocals and thinking about what you're trying to achieve is very important, so you can get, when I'm doing vocals, I will have things up close, things far, as many different ideas that I might need. So I have all these different textures and things like that. In terms of ribbon, cardioid, and dynamic, the best thing that I can say for this is do a mic shootout. You will only really know which microphone suits the vocalist best by hearing it. And you might be surprised, like and if you have the luxury of doing that. So, I mean, obviously a valve, a Neumann valve, God, I can't remember the name of it anyway, but, the famous Neumann valve mic is amazing, or the 87 is amazing. However, for some vocalists, an RE20 is amazing, or an SM7B sounds great. And last week I did a vocal session where we used a 57, just a Shaw 57. It was like a punk kind of raucous vocal. I didn't need the low frequencies and I wanted it kind of in the face and up front. So I used a 57, right? So I think that it's like just being open and it's art and it's exploration. So feel free, but always listen, right? Use your ears. Okay. Cool. Okay. So I'm going to get back into it. I hope that answered your question, and back into things. That's working again. Hopefully no more crashes. So basically I can't use the Sibilance tool. So let's just move on. Okay. So I've got where were we? I've got my lead vox thick, and let's check it out.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
Okay, now we've got my vox thick, and let's put them in together and see how they sound.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
You can kind of hear there's still a bit of phasing happening, because that's to me that they're too similar. So we need to go further. So I've got now this mutator.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
Now, I'm using this very gently. It actually has the capacity to do wild stuff. So like this.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
Right, we can do all sorts of stuff with it. But for this, I just want it to thicken things up a little bit. And
your love told me don't trust in what you see.
Now this is ring modulation, if anyone can hear it. This is how it's changing it.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see.
So I'm trying to stretch it. I'm trying to get that, move that phasing a little bit. No, the phasing is not intentional.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
Sounding better, but I'm still not loving the phasing.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
Okay, and where I fixed it was actually ultimately by using a phase process, which is a duo. It's like an auto doubler. So there's lots of doublers around. This one's really cool. I really like it. You can kind of do quite a lot with it to change it, and it doesn't actually sound like chorus. It sounds doubled and thicker. So that was the thing that fixed it for me. So I think that's also really important when you're doing your fake doubles and stuff like that. Listen for phasing, because that's not making your vocals stronger. It's taking away from the guts of it.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see.
Now also, I want to take that gate across, because as you notice, when you have audio processing, all of the breaths start to sound like someone's very, very sick with emphysema. We don't want that.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on your own.
Cool, sounding good.
What?
Sounding good, sounding tight. Okay, so we've got to move on. Obviously, as always, I'm taking too long for this stuff. The next thing I wanted to show you was if you want to kind of make some choir sounds. So we've got now, they're all opening up on my other page.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart.
Oh, that's right. I actually wanted to show you something a bit more fun where I got bored of the vocal and I wanted to change it up. So what I did here, we're going to go back into my my lead vocal, and I'm going to go into the Autotune, wherever it is, over here. Okay, and in the Autotune, we're actually going to move from the traditional Autotune settings and go into graph mode, which those of you who use Melodyne, you'll be more familiar with this. So it works very similarly to Melodyne and to WavesTune and all that kind of stuff. It's cool. I really enjoy it. It's kind of fast and transformative. Really kind of creative tool. Okay, so let's have a look at this now.
Your love told me don't trust in.
Hang on a second. Let's put the vocal back in.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
Okay, so here you can see that the red is the original and the green is what I'm doing to it. Okay, so here I went down, and how to do it is you can simply just get the arrow tool, kind of move them around. Let's see what that sounds like.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
Okay, so obviously it doesn't sound good, but you can see the proof that it's actually working. Okay, then also, which I think is actually really cool, if you want the curve is not kind of subtle enough, let me try and pick one. Okay, let's go back to the first phrase. So this one here.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see.
Okay, so here I can just get the curve tool, and then I get a little pointer, and I can change the curve. And let's check that out.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see.
Okay, so this gives us, it's the glide between the notes basically. So really easy and works really well. So I'm going to do it down there again. Maybe I'll just Command Z, and also Command Z works really easy, which is cool. And I'm going to make it go a little bit down, a little bit earlier. So let's check it out.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see.
Cool, and that made it feel more natural. So I love that. I'm really just getting into this. So what if I want to make it really smooth? See, this one here is maybe make it a bit wider. Where is it? Okay, this bit here is quite wobbly, so I could just do that to make it kind of less wobbly. Let's see what it sounds like.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so it's pretty cool. It's kind of, again, similar to the other kinds of tunes out there. Pretty intuitive. I'm quite into it. So this is a way you can really easily change the melody. And let's see what we do with it.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on your own. Walk these city streets at last, be free.
Cool. Okay, so in that really simple way, I've changed the vocal line subtly. You know, again, if you find out if there's a problem or some notes that are not working, or using a sample pack that's not working, so it's pretty easy to change it around. So I'm actually going to take this vocal, put it back into my thick, because I think it was a different one. And now let's listen to all three of these together. I'm just gonna. Okay. That on, and the harmony off. Okay.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on your own.
And if we compare it to where we started.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see.
Right? We've made really significant developments to that sound. Sounds really cool. Sounds... it doesn't sound like weird or fake or whatever, but it's got more guts. And now let's also listen to it in the context of the song.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on your own. Walk these city streets at last, be free.
Okay, so we've got some thickening happening with a formant adjustment to double the vocal because maybe I lost my voice and I couldn't sing anymore, but I needed more layers. So this is a way to do that with using, the mutator as I showed you, using the throat as well, and then using the choir to. It's on the other page, this one here, to kind of change to make it sound more choiry, to get more chorus, and to make it sound like there's more voices happening. So this is not, so I think someone said having plate reverb. Well, it's actually not, it's actually just the vocal processing so far. Okay, so that's fun. We've also looked at how we can really easily change the melody. It sounds nice and it's pretty easy. Like it's fun and kind of creative and intuitive. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to do is to have a look at... I'm not going to do that because we're running out of time. Okay, so I'm going to go to a fake harmony. So let's have a look at this. On this track, I have just the main vocal. And now I've got the harmony engine, and the harmony engine to make, funnily enough, harmonies. Okay, so this is cool. I love this. Anyone's into Justin Timberlake, I don't know if that's cool or not. I think he's amazing. I think his vocal production is amazing. His vocal producers, and it's just awesome stuff. And he does, really extensive work with this. Obviously Bon Iver as well. There's lots of people using it really creatively, which I think is a really special thing, because you need to kind of take a minute to get in and think about how can you interact with the software, right? Okay, so first of all, we'll just do a fixed interval and let's just see what we've got. So
you love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
I'm going to get that gate. Now that I've put it in, I can't bear to hear all those sounds. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, let's see if that works.
You love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to
Okay, so here we have the interval. I can say down an octave.
You love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
Okay, maybe I want it to be a fifth. So a fifth is how many? 7, I think it is.
You love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
Up an octave.
You love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
Okay, so this is really cool. I'm just kind of showing you some of the things. Obviously, octave doubling is really popular. I think that this is really good. It's one of the better ones in terms of the quality of the octaves. The formant can sound really kind of not very nice quite often. I really love to use the vocal. I use this harmony engine quite often for these octave up and down, right? I often say, okay, the problem kind of comes in next is that if I use anything but octaves when I have a fixed interval, then we start to have problems with tonal harmony and moving in parallel, and that kind of stuff. So when we want to have a scale interval, so let's think about this.
You love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
Right, so then I can bring in the harmony. As long as I've set the key up properly, it's going to give me the key that we're working with. So this sometimes works, and you can kind of go through the different settings to see how it goes. But quite often for me, that I don't like the presets or whatever. I want to do it myself. So we go to Chord via Midi, and then I get up my trusty Midi keyboard again, and then I can play in the notes that I want it to play. Okay, so let's see if I can do that right now. So the one step that I didn't show you before, which I think is really important, which I probably should check it out, is how to set this up. Okay, so I have my red one is I'll bring it down actually to where we are. So let's go into the other view. Where are we? Okay, so here is the red is my Midi, and the important thing here is that you send the Midi to, and it just has to be a Midi, in Ableton it has to be an empty Midi channel, and then I can send the Midi to, and it will send it to any track that is ready to receive MIDI in, right? So you will only show the harmonize audio track when I have set up the harmony engine to receive chord via MIDI. If I haven't done that, you won't get it, okay? So I've set that up properly, and I'm getting MIDI notes coming in. I am, okay, so I've armed that. So let's just see what happens. Nothing. Okay. Oh, hang on.
Find a way to. Your love told me don't trust in what you see.
Hang on.
Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on your own.
Something is a bit weird. Hang on, let me figure it out. Okay. Lead vox. So what I need to do is change that to harmonize. Cool. All right, let's try it again.
Walk these city streets at last and free.
Yay. Okay, so it's really important that you set this, take a minute to set this up. I think that's probably the most confusing part of it, but it's not that hard, okay? So MIDI channel out, the MIDI out is going to go to whatever channel you've set up the harmony on. Okay, then it's just as simple as me. Now you notice that no audio is going to come on that harmonized channel unless I activate the MIDI notes, because it's waiting to receive. It's like the note on will make the note kind of play out.
Love so you don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on your own. Walk these city streets at last and free.
Okay, so cool. So let's say now I prepared earlier. So let's just activate that and let's see what we've got here.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed.
Now the other thing that I wanted to mention here is that I can change the voicing and the sound of that. So I've played my notes in, but I can still change it around here by changing the spread and the register. So if I want it to be higher up, we can push the register up, right?
You love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on your own. Walk these city streets at last and free.
Okay, so I'm liking that. So let's now put that in with everything else. All right. It's kind of making it a bit more mournful or something, I think.
Your love told me don't trust in what you see. Don't listen to your heart, 'cause you will bleed. Find a way to make it on your own. Walk these city streets at last, be free.
Okay, so definitely is taking it in a new direction. And this is one of the great things, again, about like being creative with the harmonies and like vocals. Someone said it sounds like a voice box effect, and it's exactly what it's related to. One of the things, a different thing about a voice box effect is that you don't have the resampling of the vocal. So, Bon Iver made it very famous and did it so well that the harmonies, you really hear the sounds of the words, whereas a voice box is more kind of like muffled and more formanty. So I just did a really simple block chord, but you can make the harmony move, move more. It's your creativity is the limits with this kind of stuff. And what you often see in contemporary production, like particularly without like pop production and like things like JT, as I said, is that they'll have a lead vocal, then have Autotune vocal and processed in the way that I've shown. There'll be formant stuff that might be done with Melodyne or Autotune. There'll be vocal harmonies that have been recorded, and then there'll also be a harmony engine as well. So it's really thick, luscious kind of vocal layers and things like that. Okay, so that's, I've really shown you all of the tricks that you can do from, a simple vocal, changing the melody, thickening it up, adding layers, creating harmonies. Lots of fun. Let's check it out, see how it's sounding with the track. Maybe it doesn't work with the arrangement. I'm not sure. Let's have a little listen. I kind of like it. I think I'd probably want to maybe add another layer of like arrangement to match that kind of sad, mournful vibe melancholy that I've brought in with that harmony engine. Okay, cool. So we're actually at time. I did want to show one other thing, which maybe I'll show you kind of briefly. Whilst I load that up, I'm gonna check in on the chat. Yeah, we'll save that. Why not? So let's just see where we're at. Marcos, thank you. Thanks for the love. Awesome. Cool. Are there any, so just let me know if we got any questions kind of coming through. I definitely went down, we're really specific here today talking about the vocal processing and all of the kind of stuff with changing formats and things like this, which are so popular today, in production, and it's gone beyond just, a niche kind of market. It's like everywhere, right? So another thing that I wanted to shout out, I was thinking about playing it, but you can find it out. I think it's a Vox. I'm not quite sure of the YouTube page, but it's the Many Voices of Kendrick Lamar, and in the way that he performs his vocal, and then the way that they're also produced and processed as well is, if anyone wants to check out how to do really amazing, detailed, but how to put together an amazing vocal production, Kendrick Lamar has got to be one of the best, and his producers and engineers as well. So this is trying to give you some ideas for where you can take this one simple vocal, how far we can go with just one thing. So I hope that you've enjoyed that. I'm just going to check in on a few questions, and then I wanted to finish up the track that I've just loaded up here was the other side of, like, I just threw in a bunch of different samples that I got from, I think a lot of these have come from the Future House. I think it's Future House. There's a bit of reggaeton in there, and there's some techno loops, and I just put them all in just kind of randomly, and thinking about the other aspect to this and working with vocals is that how can I, if I've got a vocal, how can I make it work if it's not in key, if certain parts of the melody are working but other parts are not working. So I'm going to have a little look at that as well. So some people saying, is the video going to be available afterwards? Yes, it is. So you can check that out. I'm just trying to go through the questions. It doesn't seem like there's too many there, which is cool. Okay, so I'm going to just finish off by showing you a little bit of this, because I had fun with this. So this was half an hour of me mucking about with some samples. So let's check it out.
Hear me yell.
You ready for it? Woo! Okay, kind of get the vibe. So basically what I wanted to show you was in the way we have a vocal that was not in the right key and was not working, basically. So again, just like this is a...
You give me love. I like it, I need it,
Okay, so really simple ways that we can use the processing to kind of make it work.
You give me love. I like it, I need it,
Okay, so really thinking about, again, ways that we can work with samples or with live vocals. There's the possibilities are really endless. Also using Autotune and stuff, not just for vocals, but we can use them for other instruments and things like that. But I guess we're kind of at time, so maybe we just Yes, fist pump. Yes, you know it. So maybe we leave it there rather than me kind of getting into it. So I hope that this has whetted your appetite for getting, deeper into your vocal production and stuff like that. Today we really focused on processing and thinking all the different ways that we can alter a vocal, alter the timbre, alter the character of a vocal, alter the melody and things like that are really used to be really hard to change, so that we can make them work within an arrangement if we have limitations. I also would like to look at preparing multi-track vocal, harmonies and things like that to make them sound really good. I know that people often have trouble with that. Let me know if that's something that you'd be interested to check out. And also just like how to make a vocal arrangement. That's another thing, is that people often just have one vocal. And most often the great songs that we all love have more than one vocal, and they have there's a full arrangement of the vocal parts separate from the instrumental. So I think that's another aspect to really kind of think about. If these are things that you'd be interested for me to do a stream on, let us know, of course. You let us know in the chat now, or you join the Discord and let your feelings be known that this is something you'd be interested in. I'd also like to throw it out that I would much prefer to work on your music than my music in these streams. I think you probably get more out of it. So if anyone wants to be a guinea pig and give me a vocal that they don't know what to do with, I'd love to get it. So now we're going to be next week, as I think our ADSR peeps on the message said, I'm back doing mixing next week as regular. And then 2 weeks from today, I'll do another production session. So I think I'll do a second vocal session. And we might maybe I'll do some more where we do some other things like Midi, harmony, or whatever you guys are kind of interested in. But at this stage, we're going to kind of stick with vocals, I think, for the second week. So let me know whether you have vocals or what kind of questions you have. We'll check it out. Otherwise, get your tracks sent in for the Discord. And Migo is asking, where do we send the vocal? Thank you for asking that question. You will join the Discord, and then on the Discord forum, you can submit your stems to be worked on in the live stream. So what I'd ask for if you're going to submit your vocal is a vocal that is dry without any effects, a vocal that has no tuning on it. And you can also send a vocal with tuning, and you can send the vocal with effects, but I want it to be raw so it's easier to work with, right? If you also would send an instrumental stereo file so we can use that in the background to know how to develop the vocal in the context of the song. If anyone wants their track mixed live next week as well, same thing, submit your track to the Discord. I've got a couple that people have submitted that I haven't done yet, so I've got a couple to go through, but I'm always very excited and happy to hear more. So any last questions, anything about vocal production, vocal processing, vocal tuning, any of that kind of stuff, please check it out, play around with it, experiment with it, and let me know how it goes. I guess that will be, it's almost a wrap for today. That went very quickly as always. Cool. Oof. Yeah, definitely. Lots in there, lots of stuff to check out. All right, everyone, we'll leave it there. Have a lovely Tuesday wherever in the world that you are. Thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao.